Friday, December 26, 2025, AGNDD, Intel I Report topic. Last of its kind, dodo relative spotted in a remote Samoan rainforest. Please pardon any visual and informational inaccuracies in this partially AI-generated article-based video. Last of its kind dodo relative spotted in a remote Samoan rainforest. News by Whitney Eisenhower, published 14 hours ago, December 25, 2025. The manumea, a critically endangered ground pigeon and one of the closest living dodo relatives, has been spotted multiple times in a remote Samoan rainforest. Pictured, the manumea was hunted to the brink of extinction. To bring the endangered dodo relative back, Samoa put in place fines for hunting the bird and launched an awareness campaign, which involved painting murals in public places. This one says, "Save the manumea" in Samoan. Image credit Whitney Eisenhower. One of the closest living relatives of the dodo has been spotted multiple times in Samoa, raising hopes that this critically endangered creature can be saved from the brink of extinction. The Samoa Conservation Society's (SCS) latest field survey, which took place from October 17th, November 13th, reported 5 sightings of the manumea, Didunculus strigerostris. Previous surveys only yielded a single sighting, if any. The last photograph of the cryptic species in the wild was taken in 2013. In the early 1990s, there were around 7,000 of these dodo-like birds, which are only found in Samoa. But habitat destruction, hunting, and invasive species decimated the population to an estimated 50 to 150 as of 2024. Before setting out, team members were concerned they wouldn't find the bird alive, potentially signaling its impending extinction. "That was our worry," said Maumu Uili, a project coordinator focusing on manumea with SCS. "What happens if we can't find the bird? Does that mean the manumea is no more?" Despite confirming the manumea's existence, the team found it difficult to photograph due to their distance from the bird, its quick movement, and rainy conditions. "All of a sudden it appears out of nowhere," Uili told Live Science. "When we see it through the binoculars, we can see the bird. But by the time researchers lower their binoculars to get a camera, the bird is gone," she said. Last of its kind. The manumea is the only living species of its Didunculus genus, which will end if the bird goes extinct. The chicken-sized manumea's scientific name, Didunculus strigerostris, means little dodo. Both the dodo and manumea are classified as island ground pigeons. The dodo went extinct due to habitat loss, hunting, and predators, the same threats to the manumea's survival. Hunting has been outlawed and subject to fines, so it's imperative to focus on the current main threat, invasive species, particularly feral cats and rats, experts said. Cats hunt living birds and chicks while rats eat the eggs and chicks? The impact on manumea is certainly catastrophic, Joe Wood, the manager of international conservation programs at the Toledo Zoo, told Live Science. "It seems very likely that feral cats are a major cause of decline," said Wood, who also co-chairs a group at the International Union for Conservation of Nature that works on manumea conservation efforts. "There has to be some kind of control program." Saving manumea. If a manumea is secured, the partners working to save it said they can use biobanking to preserve biological samples to establish cultured cell lines for the bird. These cell lines will allow them to study the manumea's genetic material and learn more about it. With more information, they can determine the best measures to take, such as potential captive breeding, to repopulate the species, experts said. The non-profit conservation arm of Colossal Biosciences is also supporting some manumea conservation efforts, for instance, by building an app to distinguish the manumea's call from another bird's in hopes of getting a more accurate estimate of the manumea's prevalence. Colossal has said they have plans to bring dodos back from extinction. It recently made headlines for de-extincting dire wolves, essentially gene-editing gray wolves to include a handful of traits that make them look more like dire wolves. But there's a need to be wary of efforts to bring extinct species back into ecosystems that have changed since they were alive. Nick Rawlins, an associate professor and director of the Otago Paleogenetics Laboratory in the Department of Zoology at the University of Otago in New Zealand, told Live Science. Rawlins also said you must bring back enough species to ensure genetic diversity so they can adapt and survive, which is known as the 500 rule in conservation. To save the Manumea, Rawlins echoed wood and stressed it's crucial to stop invasive species and other threats to the Manumea's survival without many left. I think it's still going to come down to the grunt work of predator control, habitat restoration, translocation, he said. Manumea conservation work in Samoa is supported by SCS, the Samoa Ministry of Natural Resources and Environment, BirdLife International, the Colossal Foundation, the Toledo Zoo, and the Waddesdon Foundation through the Zoological Society of London. Editor's note: this story was produced in partnership with the Fellowship in Journalism and Health Impact through the University of Toronto Dalla Lana School of Public Health. Whitney Eisenhower is a writer who has lived in Samoa since 2017. She has a Master of Public Health from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill and a certificate in environmental communication from Duke University. Her work focuses on health and environment issues.
Thank you for watching this AGNDD Intelli report, dear viewers. Please like, subscribe, and click the bell button to get notified during new uploads. And make sure to tune in next time. Stay safe and healthy. Cheers.